Mr. Hvorostovsky, could you first tell us where did you come from to Helsinki now and where are you continuing after the concert?
I've arrived from Moscow, where I was doing some promotionals, some interviews, some rehearsals before my two big concerts, the series of Hvorostovsky and Friends, starting in 2-3 days. And first concert in St. Petersburg, and second in Moscow, with my friends Ramon Vargas, Barbara Frittoli, Ildar Abdrazakov, Askar Abdrazakov, Katerina Gubanova, singing along with me and many other participants, and of course Konstantin Orbelian is going to conduct both concerts. And the venues are huge. We will sing in Winter Palace in St. Petersburg, which is an ice stadium, and in Kremlin Palace in Moscow. So it's going to be very, very huge, and also it kind of my birthday anniversary concerts too. So there'll be a lot of attention from public and press.
But did you have time to winter holidays at all?
Winter holiday, I took winter holiday for about 10 days, and where I spent them with my family.
Okay. And where was this?
In London.
Okay. Then, Mr. Hvorostovsky, could you tell us about your new CD, which contains the Lieder by Tanejev and Tchaikovsky?
Oh, it's a.
How did you choose the repertory?
It's just. How did I choose? I've recorded what I've been performing, and what's and it is one of many programs that I felt obliged to make a recording with my wonderful pianist Ivari Ilya, who is originally from Estonia. We made quite a few recordings, so it's one of those few recordings that has been released recently.
And I heard that you have plans to record also in Finland. Could you tell us more? What kind of plans?
Do I have plans? Yes, I do, because with Ondine we have plans to record opera music with an orchestra.
With the Helsinki Philharmonic?
Yes,
okay.
And so we'll do it hopefully this or next year.
Okay, great. And then your fine voice is very well known, and it is said that it's among the best voices of the century, maybe 2 centuries already.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember the moment when you just realized that you have a special material? Was it yourself or some teacher who told you, you have a great voice?
Well, I wasn't sure about my voice to begin with, but I was quite sure that it was something about performing. To me, it was never easy to open my mouth and sing in front of somebody, in front of people or audience. I always had to overcome something in my natural shyness or my fear of singing in front of unknown people. So I had to do something like, step and take off and fly. So fly and float under the reality.
Okay.
Be the reality. Take off from the ground, from the soil. And so in that case, you'll feel inspired. And in that case, the voice and everything else will come together, and it will make a big emotional impact of a performance, of singing. That's been always a challenge and difficulty at the same time to me. It still is, because nothing comes easy out of this. In order to sing, you have to fly.
But you also have a huge charisma on the stage. How do you do it, or have you studied some kind of theater or presence on the stage?
You know, presence either here or not. You can't really learn how to make your presence bigger. Your presence comes with the package.
Well, for instance, your eyes are moving in a very interesting way when you are on the stage. Have you studied them, or is it only a talent to?
No, I never started moving my eyes. Only studied that if you continue, if you hold a high note,
Yes.
you're supposed to go around the house slowly, like this, in order to keep this note as long as you can. So take the long journey. But it's the only thing I studied about moving your eyes. Otherwise, no. Of course, I studied the acting and fencing and moving on stage, but just like everybody else. And what helped me that I took off singing on stage from a very early age. I was lucky to be invited to work at the opera theater in the age of 21, 22. And ever since I've had such a privilege to be working in the opera house and privileged to be, you know, known and sometimes admired by the audience. And it's such an incredible advance that you have.
Mr. Hvorostovsky, you live in London, but you come from Russia. Do you have some kind of an opinion on Russia and its situation now, the political situation in Russia?
Oh, don't ask me about it. This is my pain, disappointment, and also my hopes, because in front of my eyes, you can observe, you can see big things from distance. Sometimes much better than people who live in this country, because I've always had a opportunity to make a comparison with other countries, with this country growing and developing in certain way. Not everything pleases me, and a lot of things disappoint me, but generally I love my country, and I wish it very well. I wish it happiness and prosperity, and like I wish all the people to love each other and love music and classic art. That what helps, and that what will make these people survive throughout all the collisions of the reality. And sometimes politics are not necessarily reflecting what the real people think and feel. And I certainly can tell about the recent steps from the governments and
But do you know personally, for instance, Putin and Medvedev, because you are performing at the Kremlin Palace?
I've shook both presidents' hands, and I've had a little conversations with each of them. So, but I can't tell that I know them very well personally. I don't have that privilege.
And finally, could you tell us what kind of hobbies do you have?
Hobby? I work out, I do sports, and you know, I'm very fit for, you know, being a singer, particularly being a singer. I'm quite strong, and I keep it this way. I like reading. I like listening all types of music. Sometimes I like to watch movies, and sometimes I like to watch stupid movies.
For instance?
Just to actions.
Actions, okay.
Just in order to relax my brains. I like classic literature. And what else? I like art. And besides, before becoming a musician, my parents had a dilemma whether I should become a sculptor or a musician, because I've had the same talent for art, for sculpture,
Interesting.
which I kind of forgotten, and only recently I could restart doing something, either in the sound or lately I made a very controversial figure instead of a snowman in the snow. A very contemporary figure.
Okay.
Just for to make my children laugh.
Okay. Did they?
Yeah, kind of. They smirked. I think they didn't get it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much and have a good concert.
Thank you. Pleasure. Thank you.